Damn, and here I am thinking that Woojin would snap to his grandfather after knowing the reason for his Jung to leave him like this. Yet they end up like that. Gosh, I can't wait for season 2. Before we get started though, I just want to remind our viewers that if you like seeing more yaoi content and would like to support this channel, please don't forget to smash that like button. Also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Feel free to message me in my social media at ZEALED FUJOSHI, which I'll be using to interact with viewers about more yaoi content. If that's something that interests you, feel free to follow me at ZEALED FUJOSHI. Finally, this episode will contain explicit content and a lot of manhwa spoilers. With that in mind, please proceed with caution. You have been warned. Now, without further ado, let's jump into chapter 35 of Love Jinx. I love getting such a long flashback from Woojin's point of view. His childhood isn't that horrible, so there isn't really no excuse for his Jung. So basically, his Jung was caught by Woojin's grandfather when he was kissing Woojin. You know, so after all of that, every time he would kiss another guy, he basically is reminded of Woojin or that day and the bad things that happened. So thus the Jinx was created. But I don't think that Woojin really did wait for his Jung for the whole 8 years. He waited at the beginning, but he kind of held himself back from going to find his Jung. But then when he got over his Jung, probably took a lot of years though, you know, just one chance of meeting him and he's in love with him again. So when Woojin brought the information about his Jung's ex, I forgot, the green-haired dude, he said that he was doing it because Woojin has a grudge against his Jung. So we also saw a panel of him thinking about how his Jung will feel if he was abandoned by his boyfriend at that time. Just like how his Jung abandoned Woojin in the past. I'm sure he still has feelings, but as soon as he saw his Jung, he was fully in love with him all over again. And so he blackmailed his Jung's ex into dumping his Jung for revenge. Not as a way to get the Jung for himself though. He probably wanted his Jung to hit rock bottom so that he could come back to him himself, because as he occasionally mentions how pathetic he looks like and how miserable his life is, something that wouldn't have happened if his Jung picked Woojin instead in the past, in his own opinion though. But I'm a weirdo. I mean, you know I love my Suha, so I also love killing stalking, so I do simp for those mass murderers, and so I also simp for the extremely possessive and slightly unstable guys. And I think that's fine for Woojin to be the way that he is. And yes, it is because he is hot, but also because the hotness to crazy ratio here is just right. If he was any crazier, I wouldn't simp, but you know, even though Woojin is obsessive, he loves his Jung. That's why he waited for such a long time. He's not gonna do any crazy, batshit crazy, even though he is a little bit crazy. But that's just to scare off his love of his life a little bit, not to harm him in any kind of way. I kind of love the route that the author is taking in this series. Like, I get that Woojin is manipulative, abusive, and extremely toxic. I totally get that. But that's why I'm reading and I'm invested in this story, you know? If I want a good boy, I'll pick another story. But Woojin is such a good character, especially when he said, "You're back in my arms after 8 long years." For some reason, that line made me cry. But knowing that Woojin has a loose screw is sort of keeping me on the edge. Gosh, I do want to see these two happy and for Kang Woojin to let go of his possessive side now that he has Haegyung. If he hurts Young, I wouldn't hesitate to break my knives out. But no, Woojin, even though he's totally crazy, there's no denying that, and I will keep repeating that in this podcast, but he loves his Young and he would never hurt him. Even when he has obsessive and scary tendencies, he doesn't actually do anything that would upset or hurt Haegyung, point blank. He would give him space to not make him stressed after seeing him passed out, especially when his nose bled. But, it's Haegyung that disappeared without a word, making Woojin even crazier. And mad too, but still, Woojin never looked for his Young, even though he has resources to do so. But them meeting again was just pure coincidence. Although from there, Woojin did a couple of bad things, but nothing unforgivable in my opinion. Because, I'm expecting more character development in season 2. Even at the beginning, it's quite hard to recognize who is who in this series. The plot develops at a good pace and it's pretty simple to follow. I adore Woojin's character. His twisted mind and obsession is what makes him unique in my personal opinion and interesting as a character as a whole. After reading this, I think I need to go to therapy though, since there is a side of me that wants that kind of relationship where someone loves me so much that my mind kind of say it is toxic, but my heart is longing for it. This is some lonely stuff. That's why I need to go to my therapist. I hope he won't be more crazy than this though. Just want Woojin and Haegyung to be happy together. But man, this chapter though, after seeing Woojin in the bathtub, someone please explain to me how Woojin's boobies are twice the size of his head. I don't understand it. Man, the story is so good. Thank you for the author for making such a wonderful series, and I'm going crazy because I cannot wait for season 2. And the author said that the next season is going to be mature, rated 19. It's not gonna be Shonen Ai anymore, guys. We are going full-blown yaoi. Oh my god, that announcement just really made me happy to make content about this series. We will all be able to see how big Woojin is down there. You know what I mean? I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to follow my social media to be teased about some of the boys' love that I'm interested in. Feel free to leave me a message and converse with me in my Discord channel. I'd love to hear back from you. And please consider supporting the show by donating as little as 99 cents through www.zealedfujoshi.xyz. Also, don't forget to support the author. All the manhwa details can be found in the description below. Again, thank you so much and hope to see you next time.